What you are about to see is a counseling technique called Fight Fair. This technique is especially helpful for couples who want to resolve interpersonal problems. A fight fair should be overseen by an experienced counselor. This is part 2 of a 2-part program recorded at a seminar in April of 1991, conducted by Jeanette Lofas, president and founder of the Stepfamily Foundation. This is a very emotional session, and viewer discretion is advised.
And I want you to go for closure, you two. Begin to close on some deal with each other. There's a lot of emotions here, but we need to go for some sort of, what's the deal going to be? What's the beginning of this partnership to heal some of this now? How are we going to construct it? What's it going to look like now?
I'll try. I don't trust women. I could have always done better with my life if a woman hadn't been there. I raised myself. I could have been a better parent without all of that.
I need you to help me to begin to trust women. I'd like to begin to trust women.
I'd like to begin to trust with you, but I'm very skeptical. I liked everything Jeanette said. That's what I would like to hear. I've never been invited to be a partner. I've always been criticized for what I did.
So what I want right now is I want to be a partner. These are my kids. I want us to be a partner.
I need...
The way I understand partnership is, now, the way I want to understand partnership.
Yeah, the way I want to understand partnership is for you to invite me alongside you. And to help me be the parent that I need to be, and for us to have the home that we want to have. I think we have enough desires in common to work out some kind of solution and some kind of structure and framework and guidelines to live by that will allow all of us to be happy within those boundaries and within that structure, and to have a sense of more freedom.
So what I want to do is, going for closure now, what I want to do is...
What I want to do is come to a place where we can sit down in writing what we're looking for, because I hear too much emotion. I can't deal with that. And something we can agree to and refer back to as a structured guideline. If you want structure, fine, I will agree. We will collaborate on it. But I want not only to be accountable myself, I want you to be accountable to it as well. And I want to know what to expect from you.
So I want to write the rules. I want to ask Jeanette to help us to write these rules, your version, my version, and we'll begin to create our version.
Yeah, it's not just mine or yours, it is ours, and we do need some help doing it. We need to take the time to do it. We haven't given enough time to sit down and make some rules, and I'm unclear about it. And I'm unclear about how to enforce them. And when I enforce them my way, I'm always criticized for.
So I want to develop a way that's our way to enforce them.
I want to know what you want me to do, and what we're going to do. And I want to
tell you what I want to do too.
And I want to be able to tell you what my thoughts and what my desires are without being made to feel that I don't count. And over-dominated and superseded. And the only way I know to do that is to sit down and work at it is in a partnership. And I've never been in a partnership. And I'm skeptical, and I'm having a hard time to trust, and it's almost like it's going to have to be in a written down agreement, something to refer back to. And that doesn't mean we won't make mistakes, but it will. When we make one, we can say, I made a mistake, I broke this rule myself, I'm sorry, and then move on from there. But I've always been made one to bear the punishment for everybody's breaking rules, and I can't live that way.
So I want to begin to write this down, and I want to write it down my way and write it down your way, and then we'll get some help to make it into our way. That's going to be the rules in this Waddle family.
I want for us to write down the rules and come up with a manual of some type. If it has to be written down,
I want it to be written down.
I want it written down. And I don't want surprises. I want to know what's expected and where the boundaries are, and when someone breaks the rules, what the consequences are. I want it all written down and thought out ahead of time so that we can live by them. I've always been stabbing in the dark, and I can't live.
I don't want to live that way anymore.
I don't want to live that way anymore. I want to know what they are. I can do it if you tell me what to do, but I can't do it if I don't know what the rules are.
And I want to have some of my own ideas, too. We'll work it out together.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to participate. That's never happened.
So help me participate. I want a partner. Help me partner.
Help me participate. Allow me to be a partner, and open the door and invite me to sit along beside you. Give me an opportunity to sit down with you and figure out what the rules are. But until then, don't criticize me anymore. I can't take that until we sit down and negotiate about it. And that's maybe one of the first rules. If you don't know you've done anything wrong, don't say anything about it. Because
I don't want to be criticized. I want to have a manual. Then we'll know.
I want to know what the rules are. I want a manual, and I don't want to be criticized for something I don't know anything about.
Hear you saying is that you want us to sit down and put together what you think, what you want and what I want, and come up with our idea of what the rules are in this house for us and the children. And we'll put it down in writing after we've agreed upon it and share it with the children. And then we all know what the rules are, and we can all play fair. You don't like my anger, you don't like my criticism. I can understand that. Sometimes I don't think I'm my mother. That was my model.
And I need your help to change that, and me too, so we can be a good partnership, and I want to change that.
And I will try to allow you to be my partner and my friend while we do this.
We're going to develop some systems for being partners.
And maybe that'll give us what we have needed for the past year since the children have come and gone.
Okay. I just reinforce that, so say that again.
That's what I want to, and I think it's not just going to have a verbal commitment. It's going to have some follow-up. We're going to have to make a commitment and put some teeth into it, or it's not going to be worth anything. It's just going to be a bunch of idle words. And so many times we've discussed some very good things, but we've never followed through.
So we're going to have to write them this time, make sure they get in the manual.
It's going to have to be written down and nailed down and very clear. and that's going to take some time. I think you need to schedule it into your busy schedule. You manage your operating room. So let's get together and write some standard operating procedures for our home. And that's just as important as your operating room, because there are some very important lives right here. And if this is important and you want it to improve, schedule it.
So my plan is to begin here and now. I want us to plan to begin here and now, to write some of this down, and to keep on working on it and schedule it into our lives, so we get some sort of manual.
I'd like for us to make a commitment about a specific time, place, and arrangements. We can start doing our individual work, and then at some point that's pre-arranged, I want us to come to and share it with each other and work out that mutual agreement. But just talking about it is not going to get it.
Okay.
So get your calendar and give me a date, and I'll bring my suggestions, and I want yours at that time, and we'll schedule whatever time we need. While the children are gone this summer, we'll write our manual and share it with them when they come back in the fall.
And that's what I want.
And that's what I want. And I'm finished.
Okay. Okay. And just got closure. And that's what we need.
I agree. I'll give you the time, and it is important. When we'll sit down and pick a day and a time, I'll make it just as much a priority as I would for an assignment at work.
Okay. You're done. Congratulations.
Pass those Kleenex back.
Where'd that go? Yeah. Here. Good work. Good work. Yes. Yeah. That's really important stuff. Let me see if we can get these chairs and watch it here.
If it was any comfort to you guys, I'm sure you would just change the names, and a lot of us.
That's right. They did your story, didn't they?
Yeah.
Did your story. Courage.
I have one question. How do you keep from getting crying? It just isn't moving.
How do you stay so kind of just
Me?
You're like separated from the emotional.
The best way you can help people is to stay separated, because you see you have to having to sort of orchestrate the plan the whole time, and if you get into it, you need that. One of the most important things working is that sort of plexiglass shield that you keep between you and your client. When I first started working, I used to see a client go for a run for an hour, see a client go for a run. I had dry skin. And
So it's normal in the beginning.
Yes.
Go for the run.
Yes. Yeah, you need to do that because you get exhausted.
Yeah.
Again, the reporter on the story. You have to keep that detachment to get the story. Well, that's very intuitive. What I do there is like really go into a trance space, into an altered state. You can almost see my eyes roll back. And I'm, listening, feeling, intuiting where that should go. Sometimes I'm wrong. And they don't have any trouble with me being wrong. I was wrong with Dudley. And he said, no, that was wrong. And he went on and did his own.
And you don't take it personally. You kind of just, okay, let's see where you are.
Sure. Sure.
Well, one wrong 48.
It's really spectacular.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad.
Spectacular.
I'm glad. It's exhausting to do those things.
Because
Because that's right. Yeah.
They got group dynamics here too.
Yes, yeah.
We've formed bonded as a group, and they trust us with
They
it.
do, yeah.
yeah, your friends and
I don't trust it.
Yeah.
you trust enough to say it.
Yeah.
Was this the very first time you've ever expressed that to Sherry? That way? I mean, you know, that,
Some
It's
of it.
basic distrust of females, and yeah. I mean, I knew it intuitively. He's never really said it. I knew it.
It's never been really spoken in this way.
To tell you the truth,
Hasn't-
I think I'm close to being a misogynist.
Always.
Woman hater.
Mhm.
Oh,
Woman
And
hater.
I don't really like men at times, and I've had bad relationships too.
Mhm.
So I think we have a lot of distrust of the opposite sex, both of
Trust
us.
issues.
But
So-
and maybe that's why I'm so critical and
Use the defenses
and
of your
I'm
mother.
very dominant compared. I mean, I can overpower people.
See, what you two are teachers for each other. If you mistrust men and he mistrusts women, then you are each other's teachers. You are each other's guru. That you must learn something. We keep repeating the same thing until we learn something. You could do it in the next life. Your children will do it, whatever. You know, the sins of the fathers in the 7th generation. So what you're aware of now is that you're teachers to each other. That would be another session. I wouldn't go near that in this session right now at this level. The hate of the man. But there's a lot of that. And to do another fight fair about that and to give them a lot of work to do, to bring that, to expose that, bring that forward. Experientially, emotionally, and then to make a decision. See, lots of times to me, men and women hate each other because the systems of communication are so different. That they feel, this is one of my gender stuff books, that they're so different that they've never understood each other. It's not an understanding.
I think that's a lot of it.
Yeah,
He feels I don't understand him, and I feel like he's not.
absolutely.
listening to me.
Absolutely.
So I just keep harping and harping and harping.
Yeah, and he goes, why are you nagging me?
Pulls back. Even
Yeah, and he withdraws, and then you get mad at him for withdrawing.
But if I don't withdraw, I get killed.
Uh-huh, right.
I mean, I'm
But if you do
psychologically
withdraw,
destroyed.
he's-
Mhm.
you're
I'm
killing
serious.
yourself.
Yeah, so the way you two have to work right now at this stage on the manual is to stay visual, is to see the picture. Look at this as though you're architecting your house. No, I think the window should be over here, maybe the couch should be over there, I want a bathroom over here, and blah, 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 and just look at it that way. All this stuff is extremely important working with these people. You remember this, but you do first things first. We want to get their house in order, then we can have real big emotions about it all and handle this deep stuff. Therapy would handle this stuff, would stop immediately all action and go into his hatred of women and her hatred of men and spend the rest of the time. Meanwhile, the house is in total chaos, driving them deeper into misogyny, driving them deeper into feelings, and with a 1 hour a week in the office or 2 hours or 5 hours would still not remedy that. So it's first things first.
I can live with those feelings if I can function in the real world.
Right.
I can go out on the street and not kill women. I can keep myself from doing that.
But if you don't want to come
But-
home at night, or you know that it's always going to be conflict,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't.
Because
really
you're
matter.
saying all this stuff, he withdraws, he doesn't listen, so you have to say it all the more. The kids are acting out your stuff, your non-conclusion with each other, the non-direction. The kids act that out and do things like tear up the couch, so you guys can get it. They're like, wait a minute, this is a great big acting out, so you can see what's going on here. The kids will keep on acting it out until you get together as the male and female head of the household. They're going to be the little messengers all the time of your stuff. They are messengering to you, both of you. And instead, in lots of systems, in biological systems, it forces the family together, but in step systems, it forces the kids acting and forces them apart, because that's your goddamn kid, as opposed to our goddamn kid. Different.
Now, Jenna, after you would do this fight fair, take like another 15 or 20 minutes in the session and kind of
With them, I would consolidate where they're going right now.
ask them to let's look at your calendars now and let's set a date.
No, ask them how was it for you guys? How was that for you? How was that for you? Yeah.
The conclusion.
How was the whole deal for you, the whole thing?
I'm still skeptical.
Uh-huh.
It's never been done before. I've never been invited to be a partner, and it'll have to be done before I really believe it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm open to it.
Okay, and are you willing to go for it?
Oh, yeah.
Are you willing, Dudley, to have a vision and go for the setting of the time with Cheryl together and working this thing out, putting it on paper, committing your commitment to the paper and hers, and then both with that commitment, you both want to architect this new house. So with that commitment, you'll fight over where the fireplace is going to be, you know?
Yeah, I'm negotiable. I mean,
Right.
anything is negotiable except your commitment.
Mm-hmm. That has to be the first thing in a partnership, that commitment. So you haven't experienced that before, so it's all new for you.
I haven't experienced the negotiation. Now, I've had my commitment, but I've never experienced the invitation to negotiate.
Okay, so I ask you I ask you at the first meeting to negotiate, to set aside your skepticism. It's like doing a business deal. Sometimes we're really skeptical, but we don't want to portray that in the meeting. We want to go for the deal and go for what's on the table. So to set aside that, and I like bring that up all the time. But remember, you remember that. Set it aside and do business. I want you to do business. Write this manual. Let's keep the past where the past is, behind us.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, that will not keep me from pursuing it.
Right. Okay.
And I'll be.
That's your commitment to me.
I can do that.
Want that.
I will do that. And
Right.
I can put it behind me.
But it's
If
stuff
it
that has to
doesn't happen, then it's just going to be one more failure.
Exactly.
Promise unless you're going to deliver.
That's right.
It's just like
So you two have made a promise to each other. And it looks to me like you guys are going to keep that promise. You're going to keep those times together, and you're not going to quit when you disagree. So we have no fireplace in the house. So it's in the kitchen. So it's in the upstairs bedroom. So big deal. Work it out. I mean, businesses and people designing things spend hours and hours brainstorming the Pepsi-Cola commercial. I mean, for God's sake, this is your life. Take some time and honor it. Spend so much time doing a 25-word ad.
Even when Coke came out, they had to go back and bring back Coke Classics.
That's right. They made a mistake.
They made a
Corrected.
mistake,
They
and went and
corrected.
corrected it.
Right. We're constantly adjusting, creating and adjusting, creating and adjusting. Tony Robbins talks about that a lot, that successful people have a vision, go for that vision, and so it's wrong. So an airline pilot's always driving the airplane, you're always correcting when you're driving the car. And so that's wrong, so you shift it. All success is about shifting, about having the vision and shifting it.
The most important thing is that you've got the commitment to one another. You want to do it.
What's neat about that is you have the chance to do something right.
That you've never been done in your system before.
You've got the chance to create something right.
And you
This
can't
is-
go back and correct what went on and what was. But now you've got the vision to see what could be.
It gives the kids a chance to grow up in a good situation instead of this hopeless world, too.
What I'm feeling just now, sitting here with you, is the excitement. You know, it's like you just took your marriage vows. That's what it feels like. You know, the honesty that you've exposed each other to today.
It wasn't like a marriage.
Was a real. I mean, it wasn't just I do and I love you. It was a real commitment. And
It's been painful. The past year and a half.
Yeah.
All that pain comes growth. I mean, lots of it. Like, all of a sudden, it's like leaps and bounds. Oh, dear. Gee.
This help is the first positive thing anybody's given us to do. Always before, it's just everybody else trying to make you feel like you're supposed to know how to do this. You're supposed to know how to be a family. You grew up in a family, you're supposed to know how to be a family.
Or you get into therapy and you get more depressed than ever.
Yeah, that's what happens so often, yeah. And the negative is focused on,
But
yeah.
there's something different now because what was is no longer.
Right.
And you all have done something different by coming here and by being willing to be open enough and trust enough to share with all of us in the room what you did. It was very powerful, tremendous work that you did. And it sounds like what I've heard you say is you haven't done anything like that before, so you're already doing something different. I think that's a great affirmation for the
I
both
always
of you.
wanted to do that and looked for therapists that would give some guidance in doing it. But they're so involved in digging out your negative emotions, dealing with that in the past, that they never tell us how to live in the present. And I'm sick of it.
Here now.
It's disgusting.
You have a choice now to begin to step through your fears relative to trust. And that's kind of, I think, your opportunity, Dudley. I heard that fear and that deep sense of hatred and rage, and you can choose to stay stuck there, or you can choose to begin to step through that and be collaborative like you were wanting. And that's a growth area.
The only way out of it is into it and through it.
When you follow it, when you make your rules and you follow your rules, the rewards in intimacy and the rewards in peace in your household will be tremendous. Because I know it really, it seems ridiculous, like I said yesterday, but once you follow them all through and once you see what happens, the rewards that you'll have between the children and yourself and between yourself and yourself will be well worth it.
And that's where the therapy will take place, not in somebody's office.
No, it'll be in the house. You'll come to a realization that I had a dinner and it was peaceful and we spoke about really important things and we didn't rip up the house and we didn't fight over things. Everything worked in order. Everything, like the machine ran well. Didn't need extra oil. Didn't need another piston. Just be very rewarding. And I believe that you're on the road there because I know for myself, like you, I didn't see a lot of things that my kids were doing. And I believe my kids are better kids now because I had to come through and enforce a lot of the law and the order.
I think they asked for it too. But I think they've asked us for it.
They love the rules. My daughter calls me up every week. My daughter calls me up every week. What are the rules for our next visit?
Yeah, what are the rules?
What are the rules? I want to know.
What are the rules for the game this weekend?
Yeah, what are we doing this time?
That's exactly what I'm asking for. What are our rules so I can keep from getting clobbered?
You'll make your rules together. You have to make them together.
Yeah.
You'll make the rules together.
A whole new experience for you to have the freedom to have your set of rules to mesh with Sherry's set of rules. I mean, it doesn't seem like you've ever had that kind of freedom.
We both had critical mothers, so neither one of us know. I had a nurturing father. That's what Dudley is. I'm just like my mother, unfortunately. I mean, I see it. I'm like, God, I'm just like my mother.
But you know, what Cheryl said was very true. It was very powerful for all of us. And I think, in a sense, this can give you the opportunity to create a new balance in your relationship and your marriage. Because the old way wasn't working. I mean, you were really...
I was trying to beat him up with it.
Yeah, it was a power
I kept thinking, well, if I
struggle,
yell
you were
enough or get angry enough,
Yeah.
that'll motivate him.
Yes.
He'll get tired of listening to it, he'll do something.
Yeah, and that doesn't work. And you always have to get rid of behavior that doesn't work for you.